Boards on the window, mail by the door. Why would anybody leave so quickly for Ophelia? Where have you gone?
let's everybody, let's do an exercise. I'm gonna play 2 songs. They're definitely 2 unrelated songs. I just want to know what everybody thinks. Which one you guys prefer? Let's do this.
Tippery town I came. 'Twas poverty compelled me first to go out in the rain. In all sorts of weather, be it wet or be it dry, I'm bound to get my livelihood or lay me down and die. Then combine your humble ditties as from tavern to tavern we steer. Like every honest fellow, I drinks my lager beer. Like every jolly fellow, I takes my whiskey clear. I'm the rambling wretch of poverty and the son of a gambler. I'm the son of a 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 gambler. I'm the son of a 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 gambler. And I was so very neat. They thought I was too good to live, most good enough to eat. But now I'm old, my coat is torn, and poverty holds me fast. And every girl turns up her nose as I go wandering past. Then combine your humble ditties as from tavern to tavern we steer. Like every honest fellow, I drinks my lager beer. Like every jolly fellow, I takes my whiskey clear. I'm the rambling wretch of poverty and the son of a gambler. I'm the son of a 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 gambler. I'm the son of a 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 gambler. Tippery town I came. My coat I bought from an old shop way down in Maiden Lane. My hat I got from a sailor lad just 18 years ago. And my shoes I picked from an old dust heap which everyone shunned but me. So combine your humble ditties as from tavern to tavern we steer. Like every honest fellow, I drinks my lager beer. Like every jolly fellow, I takes my whiskey clear. Rambling wretch of poverty and the son of a gambler. Well, I'm the son of a 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 gambler. I'm the son of a 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 gambler. I'm the son of a 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 gambler. I'm the son of a 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 gambler.
Now that's good music right there. That's good stuff. So y'all let me know what you think about that. I'm gonna play one more song though. Let's compare the two.
I've
That's enough of that crap. You guys tell me which one of those you prefer. I'll have a feeling that I know the answer. Now that my amazing intro is done with, why don't we bring in our guests? I've got a couple guys here.
Hey,
What's going on?
What is going on, fellas?
not much.
So we have, of course, familiar face down here with Rec Talk. Everybody knows and loves Rec Talk. And we have looking spiffy as hell over here in the blazer, Jace, who is if you haven't figured it out, is a Goldfella, which is those freaking dudes. I showed the image on the screen there. He's one of those freaking dudes that, paints themselves up all gold. They hang out in the south end zone and freaking get pumped up, and it's a good time. And they're cool dudes. I actually I tailgated with them last year, which was a good time. So why don't you just introduce yourself and say as much or want as little as you want. I have a bunch of questions about that and how it goes and stuff. So
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Jace. I am the 10th discount Buzz, which is the leader of the Goldfellas, 10th holder of the title. Recently have relinquished that because the Georgia game was my last one doing it. Yeah.
Dang.
But it's fine. It was the best loss I've been to.
well, congratulations, you got out, right? Not
Yes,
to
I
say,
did.
You got out. Good for
Yes.
you. Good for you.
Very happy to have done that. That was definitely the biggest struggle. So yes, I'm also the primary recruiter, or have been the primary recruiter for Goldfellas for the past few years. So like if you've seen any of the Reddit posts for the Goldfellas, that's been me the whole time. Again, that's
Nice.
been passed off as well. But my goal is to bring people in, show what the Goldfellas do, because especially under the past few years, it's been very, very hard to get people to want to paint up and come to games when they don't think we're going to win.
Sure.
And just generally spread the word, make it at least a bucket list item, because some people will come, some people really, really enjoy it, and then become more consistent members. So that's kind of been my goal over the period of time. So while most people here don't know me, you've almost definitely seen me, especially if you watch the Georgia game on TV. I was on it a bunch, wearing the tank top.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's what we do. We cheer, we always stand, we're always, going really hard for Georgia Tech, which is a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it.
It's been you definitely could not have been taken this path at literally a worse time.
No, it's my tenure has been the worst in the history of anyone who's held the title.
God dang!
You could debate the guy before me was also that, because we split the time with Jeff Collins.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see him as well.
Yeah. So I mean, that's rough, man. That's rough. Believe me, I know. I was, me and you are kindred spirits in that way. I was, of course, on YouTube during the Jeff Collins years. Just bad, just awful times.
Well, and you don't stop cheering as a Goldfella. Even and the worst one I was ever at, I just spoiler if that was a question, was definitely the Ole Miss game last year.
Oh.
But I still got to be cheering at that. Like but you don't take that from fans as a Goldfella, from opposing fans or even your own fans when they're mad. You got to keep going through it, and that is rough. It's not the same. I know it's what you go through with the online harassment, but I can sympathize a little bit.
No, it's brutal,
It's
man.
something.
It's brutal. I've only done that once. Decided to cheer for the whole game, and it was this past game. I was like, I actually found some enjoyment in it, because normally I go to the games and get extremely angry when I have to watch the Jackets play because we are a very frustrating team to watch, or we have been. And I went to the Georgia game this past week, and I was like, okay, I don't care what happens. I'm not going to freak out and get mad. I'm not going because if I did, I would get in a fight. Like, I'm not like.
Oh, that's an actual threat at the Georgia game.
It is.
For sure.
They're terrible, man, and it was bad.
Well, they fight each other in the
And
stands.
it was an exercise.
I've got a story about that. I can say it later.
Yeah.
But it came close. I was close.
It's an exercise of your patience for sure because they are bad. But it was cathartic in a way, and you know, we were coming back there at the end, so you know it was. I'm glad that I stayed positive because at some points I was like, "Geez, this thing's getting out of hand." But no, we were starting to mount the comeback there, and I was stoked that you know, I decided to keep cheering through the game, and you know, all the Georgia fans, of course, didn't do that. They started leaving in the third quarter because they didn't.
No, they were talking so much trash to us like before the game and stuff. And obviously, you know, we talk the most trash. So like one Georgia player would drop a ball in practice and we were all shouting Butterfingers, and then all the Georgia fans
in the pregame.
Yeah. So they talk trash. We didn't even acknowledge them. We would just talk to each other, talk about the yapping we hear behind us. But they shut up almost immediately and didn't really do that much trash talk with us for the remainder of the game because they were just scared the whole time. And they didn't want to have trash talk that we could then go back. And then they left.
Yeah. It was bad. They started leaving like in the third quarter too. I mean, the game was.
Yeah.
I guess they weren't blowing us out to their liking. Bunch of soft freaking pussies, if you ask me. But and I noticed one particular Georgia fan in the comment section is getting me a little bit perturbed, Uncle Lou. If you would kindly refrain from trolling in the comment section. God
Lou,
almighty,
it's kind of like
nobody's bragging about losing. You have to realize when you go around and say that you're going to curb stomp us into the dirt and have your starters out by halftime, and you know, your Sanford Stadium West or whatever it is y'all say, you have to realize that you look stupid. Okay, you can't just talk all that shit all week, and then now you look stupid, and then you move the goalposts and say, "Oh, okay, well, congrats for not freaking for only losing by 8." And I mean, the Georgia fans with the excuses have been unbelievable. I've seen so
one
many.
of the people at my job argued Brock Vandergriff played the entire second half, not Carson Beck. Yeah,
that's
I'm
just
not
not
joking.
true.
Yeah, and I was like, that's just not true. They're like, no, there was no starters, none.
Well, they're fairly divorced from reality or facts. I mean, you'll see, like, they'll just respond with what they wish you would have said and not what you actually said. You're right. See, they talked about they were going to come in, beat our asses. It was going to be over by half, and it wasn't. And look, I'm not making excuses. We did lose the game. We did lose the game. But I have to address the 200 comments of stupidity that is nothing but excuse making. You should be embarrassed by your fan base right now.
It's hard to ignore. Like, I wasn't coming on here saying, hey, we only lost by 8. I mean, nobody's proud that we lost, or you know, but it's like, you know, you when your fans talk about how you're going to blow us out all week, and then cry and complain when you don't, and blame it on the refs and everything like that. Yeah, I'm gonna Jones on you because you deserve it. So very funny. Well, he says he gave us a week, so now he's going to troll us. Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, that's what we signed up for. I don't have a problem with anyone trolling me. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Losing games builds character, okay? And us as Tech fans have
we got the most character.
We have a mountain of character built up, okay? We got a mountain of it. So, yeah. Go ahead and tell your encounter with the nasty freaking Georgia fans, because they are bad. They're bad at the games.
Oh yeah. So as I said, they were generally quieting down over the game. So the game ends. You know, we do our horse cheer, everything, we start walking out. We go up towards the visitor section, down into like the tunnel before you can leave out onto the street. And we're walking down, generally not heckling the other fans, vice versa, because the whole point, don't take crap from fans. So we will heckle if they heckle us back. Our goal is to get out because we were outnumbered. But I'm going through, and this girl, this Georgia fan girl, comes kind of around a corner, sees me, and gets up in my face and starts barking in my face.
Oh my god!
Which just makes me start laughing because that's so hilarious. And we had brought dog treats with us to give the fans who did that. So yeah. So and on our walk down. So before on our walk down, when Georgia fans would bark at us, we would toss dog treats at them.
That is
all mad.
That is incredible. That's the funniest thing that I have heard in response to Georgia fans barking, and I'm 100% stealing that.
Oh,
that's insane.
Yeah, they got so bad.
Did they eat it
every time? No.
It's probably the best meal they've had in some time if they did.
But they'd be like, "Oh, thank you. I'm actually glad you gave me this because I can give it to my dog after a win." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cope. You're bad." Anyway, so someone gave her a dog treat. That made her more mad. She keeps barking, and again, she's like pressed up against me, barking. And so I just start, going, "What's the good word?" To Georgia, what's the good word? How about the? So the other Georgia fans are starting to get a little mad at us too. But I'm still laughing at her. Eventually, her friends pull her away from me, and I'm like talking to the Goldfella, talking about how funny that is. She rips herself away from her friends and gets back in my face and starts barking again. At this point, I'm like, oh, I'm so intimidated. Oh my gosh. Oh, shiver me timbers. Oh golly, I'm so afraid that this grown woman is barking in my face. Oh my gosh, this truly is the most intimidating fan base on the planet. And at this point, to their credit, the other fans are really, really embarrassed by her.
Yeah,
and
she's
eventually
barking.
She pulled away. But like, oh my god, it's one of my favorite stories just about being Goldfella ever.
That's pretty funny.
Gosh.
It
was so funny.
That's pretty funny, man. They're women.
Is that not the weirdest thing? So, like, what could you imagine us like going around if you see another Tech fan and then going buzz, 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 buzz.
We should do that.
That
awesome.
would be the dumbest thing ever. Likewise, barking at people whom they do that to people they respect. I don't. That's a tradition. If I was them, I might have to do away with.
I had a Miami fan tell me one time that apparently some Tech students released bees into the stands at the Miami game, which is terrible, but it's also
that's
funny.
bad.
Is also terrible, but it's really funny.
Bioterrorism.
I'd say Georgia fans, their roasts against us are so much weaker and are so easily like flipped. So it's like, oh, go back to your studies. Okay. And
go be successful.
Be like, now the problem, I remember Boston College player walked up to us, was like, go back to your library. And we're like, okay.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
or nerd. It's not as good as what we have against them.
Well, the only time I've really lost it live is after the Georgia game. It's the first time
I watched that live stream.
First time I dropped the F-bomb, which I did multiple times, called them the R word. So I say all these horrible things about them and their entire families, and they're just like, yeah, well, nerd. Okay. Yeah, you got me. Cool.
That's
I
mean, they're not wrong. I am a nerd. That is true.
Yeah.
I'm all right with it.
It's one thing that I think I need to not run from. I just need to embrace it as the nerd stereotype, because you know what? Being a nerd is freaking cool. Okay.
You hit like the resonance frequency of your desk there. I heard it like a tuning fork.
That's right. It's hip to be square. So, but yeah, I wanted to. So I wanted to mention again. It seemed like last year, when I tailgated with you guys, I was chilling with you guys. We were tailgating for, what was it, the Duke game maybe? And
Yes.
It was the Duke game.
Yes.
And there was only like three or four of you guys.
There ended up being five after you left.
So it seems like, are the numbers growing? Are the numbers growing more these days?
Yes. So there's a couple reasons for that. right around the Duke game is when we really started pushing our Reddit account to try to get people coming. We have now partnered with some clubs. So like we've partnered with the Seek Discomfort Club to get people coming in, and that's got some people permanently joining, which is pretty nice. We used to be part of Traditions Night. However, a poor experience last year had us just pull out completely.
Really?
Because it wasn't worth our time anymore. So it's really been trying to use social media to push knowledge. And then fortunately the Reddit has grown, which has allowed us to get better. Also, there was hope with Brent Key, which has been better.
Yeah.
But the worst one, again, the Ole Miss game, there were two people, myself, and I actually was able to get my younger brother to come. He's not even a Georgia Tech student. He was just willing to be a fan for a day. But I needed people there. But we've been a lot better recently, getting decent numbers. Nothing like the Goldfellas of old, but the Goldfellas of old had some sponsorship from the university. We do not, so we're never going to get there. But
what happened with that? Why would the university not sponsor it anymore?
A lot of that happened. So I'm not as knowledgeable on that. On my last game, I talked to quite a few former holders of my title, and what they said is it really did shift after they went from physical ticketing to online ticketing, where they would give Goldfellas free tickets before to the, I believe it was the South End Zone. It might have been the North End Zone at the time. Again, that was when I was like 3.
Okay. Well, it should be the North End
on
Zone.
The shift, I guess so. So on the shift though, they stopped doing that, and there's been a conflict between Goldfellas and the school for a bit, largely because like 6 or 7 years ago, the Goldfellas are the ones who initiated a field storming, and that got us on their bad side. We were told if we ever did that again, we would be permanently kicked out, which is why at the UNC game, I made the announcement, hey, we are not allowed to initiate the field storming. They are. Got everyone like, oh, okay, we got you.
Gotcha.
But we've had to be very careful. They always line up security right in front of us at the end of every single game to make sure we don't storm, which I was making fun of them at the Georgia game. I'm like, we lost. Why would I storm the field on a loss? And the guy just looks at me like, don't.
Yeah, we're not Clemson.
I'm not gonna.
We're not Clemson. We don't storm
the field on that.
We don't storm the field after losses.
Exactly. But like when at the UNC game, one of our guys got absolutely destroyed. His wig even flew off, and some kid ran away with it too. So we don't know where that wig is anymore. It's gone.
Dude,
got speared? I don't get that.
I don't
at
either.
all.
Some of these.
So apparently they were told every single security guard gets one person they can tackle.
Wow.
That's what I learned.
Wow, that's crazy. I've seen. Yeah, I heard the stories.
Yeah.
Universities really don't like it when people storm the field. They like in the SEC, you'll get a huge fine. I don't think you get a fine in the ACC, but I don't know.
I haven't heard of it.
They really don't like it.
But in terms of recruiting, yeah, in general, we've gotten better, and word of mouth has helped a lot too. So people who liked it are telling other people who come, and networking has been very, very helpful too. Like my wife will tell her friends, and then her friends will come. So it's just been very, very helpful.
Now, do you think that also, a problem with getting people to join the Goldfellas is that you're losing bodies to the banana guys?
Is there a rivalry?
Those freaking banana guys.
So let's see. I don't know much about the banana guys. They're a bit more recent, at least as far as I could see. That's a good question. There are people who paint over at the other side who we lovingly call the fakers. They're not Goldfellas. We've tried to recruit some of them. They're their own thing. Really? They just spell out tech. So yeah, we are the actual tradition of painting up. Yeah. And so we encourage people who are thinking of painting up, please come to us. Don't form something else, because we can do fun things. And we spell out, we don't spell out tech or to hell with Georgia, except unless it's the Georgia game. We make fun of our opponents, which is fun. And I enjoy doing that. And we all have to think of what we're going to do.
Right.
And we're tradition. And the goal is to keep the tradition alive.
I think the tradition, I think that it's a good in theory too, is to do it in the South End Zone, because for those of you watching that don't know, the South End Zone is a wasteland. It's like nobody ever sits there. It's like, the rest of the bowl, the lower bowl is nice, but the South End Zone is all like bleachers, and no one
Yeah.
ever sits there, and no one likes going there, and it's always empty.
Now,
so,
I think you can bring. So when I was a student, and tell me what it is now, Jace, you could bring somebody on your student ticket, like a guest. But I think it was only the south end zone you could do that.
For a fee, you can bring someone.
Okay.
It's like $10.
I'm all for getting stuff.
At least that's what the online ticketing says. I never brought anyone with me, but it said $10 at a guest. So, and that would allow you into the. I only used the free tickets. So.
Okay.
I'm all for getting stuff that can kind of increase the viability of the south end zone, because that does
they're
something
being
there.
more strict on the wristbands, which is increasing the south end zone amount of people. Now that does make it a little harder for us to claim our spots. They used to say the spots were reserved because we're always right behind the goalpost.
Yeah.
They took away that a long time ago.
Dang.
Before I joined.
You gotta
Which was fine before because it was a ghost town. But now that more people are there, they'll crowd and they won't move.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there for the Syracuse game. I was up in Ohio doing my own thing. And I saw the film, though, and there were two Goldfellas behind the goalpost, and the rest were in the second row. I was like, what was going on? There were people in the front row. They wouldn't move. At the Georgia game, there were a bunch of people in the front row, but, I was back. And I go down there. I'm like, move over.
Yeah.
This is where we go. And they start arguing. I'm like, no, this is where we go.
Yeah.
And I had them squish it, especially because there were Georgia fans trying to pack the front.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Get 'em
we're
out of
here.
There. Get them out of there.
So
Get them out of there.
we got it. But I'm like, no, this is where we are. We're not backing up.
So y'all are really having a fight against the man.
Yes. Well, yeah. That also happened with the tea night, where if you remember at all what that is, if you're a student, you probably know, where you will have all these like benches with different groups, and then you have this like passport that you stamp, and you get a free shirt. We were the only booth not given a stamp to get people towards a free shirt.
Look, this is like, I know Lou's like trolling the comment section about it, but there is some truth. Like, I don't understand. There's some things with Georgia Tech I don't understand as far as them supporting things like this.
Yeah.
And like, why would you not? I don't get it. Like,
I mean, I haven't really seen much support from them. I haven't seen as much vitriol as there was before. I mean, I know that they send security right in front of us, but I wish there was more. I wish that they could actually reserve the place or give free tickets. That would be a great way to influence an actual tradition that, in my opinion, matters. It's what got me into football. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, now, what are what do you have to do to be a part of? Was it the Goldfellas?
Show up at the designated time.
And you were showing me you had a book, right? And every face painting is unique.
Yes, every face paint is unique. You decide it your first time you're there, and that is your permanent face paint unless you are acting as our discount buzz. So like my base one was like a line down and around like this, kind of like a helmet. Yeah. But the discount is generally sunglasses. We didn't have it at the Georgia game, but glasses with some black paint around the eyes, which is why I just had black paint around my eyes in that photo. But everyone has their own unique design as far as we can tell. We don't remember every single design, and people who are one and done, whatever. But yes, that is unique, and you just have to be a Georgia Tech fan. The student one is hard to enforce, B, reduces recruiting. So we're willing to bring people in if they're willing to be fans with us.
Interesting.
So could we be guest Goldfellas for a game? I mean, that was kind of the line I was going down.
That would be great. We would definitely appreciate it. It would be great for publicity.
For publicity?
Yeah, it would be great for publicity.
To have a
so we'd be 100% down.
To have a couple influencers, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Influencers coming through, guys. Influencers.
Hey,
yes.
This has got Sea-Dog and
I'm certain we take who we can get. So, and you're not like the bottom of the barrel. You're pretty high up there. So yes, I think we would absolutely be willing to. Just don't wear jeans. We've had people wear jeans painting up. That's a poor decision.
Now, are you done? How many more years do you have? You're done after this year, right?
Oh, I graduated. I already graduated. This is I live near Georgia Tech, which is why I'm an alum. I graduated in this spring. So.
And you're computer science.
Well, congrats.
Computer science, yes.
This man's going places. That's probably the most in-demand job in the world is software development. So kudos to you, man.
Thank you. Yes, recruiting is great from Georgia Tech to other businesses.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a
Oh, yeah.
positive of going.
I bet. Well, that's awesome.
So yeah, definitely come if you want to try out being a Goldfella. Definitely do it. Definitely show up, and we have the paint.
You'll have to get us hooked
Ideally,
up.
it won't be our child-friendly acrylic paint that we used the last game. We try not to use that.
You'll have to get us hooked up with whoever the new guy is.
Sure, I can do that.
Yes.
What?
That might be what, like, the Buzzsaw and Macho might be good for that.
Oh yeah, that's true. So
That would be very, very cool. You do need to be willing to help us spell out something. I think as long as that works,
course.
though.
of course.
Oh, that would be so awesome. That's a really good idea. I'll get you into contact with our new leader
Awesome.
and see what,
We'll have
what
to
he
get
can do.
yeah. So what's it like being shirtless in the cold and like when it's cold the whole game?
Oh, that sucks. That's awful. It wasn't that bad this year. The coldest game was probably the Georgia game, and that wasn't even that bad. Like the wind could chill,
Dude.
but it wasn't that bad.
When I was up in the upper stands, it was freezing. I was like
So-
it was so windy.
Yeah.
Oh,
You gotta remember
God.
we're at the bottom, so
Right.
we're protected a bit from the wind. The paint does not insulate. It does keep you from sweating, which is really bad in the hot. Like we tell people, drink water, you're gonna faint. We've had people faint before.
Wow.
So yeah, drink water.
Dang.
When it's cold, it was way worse last year, and that just sucks. We have some people like get like pack jackets or something because we don't want people getting hypothermia. Yeah, it's just cold. Some people just drink away the heat. To each their own.
Well, I think we
yeah.
might be okay because we are well insulated, just with our weight.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow.
Well, and it's why most people recruiting gets harder during the end of the season because it gets colder. Most people come in the beginning.
Okay.
We had a huge group for the SC State game, and then it rained and most people left.
Ah.
That was the biggest group I'd ever seen.
When it starts
I was like, dang it.
raining, does it
Yep.
get all?
Yep.
Ah, jeez. That's just nasty.
It's not really. So I do say like it's a good way of pushing your comfort zone. Most people don't really go out shirtless, so I get it. However, you are with a group of people who are doing it. Everyone loves you, right? So you're not really going to be that embarrassed. At least
No, the bus.
and I'm no stud shirtless. So
the buzzsaw
if
was
I'm
like a
okay-
huge hit at the game. People,
Oh, yeah.
people.
You'll
love
have
it.
so many people taking pictures with you as a
People
gold
love
fella.
that kind of
I'm
stuff.
on a bunch of moms' Facebook
Yeah.
posts.
People love that kind of stuff. It's fun.
You don't have to worry about us getting embarrassed. Like I've taken my shirt off live on the internet before, so I
I
care
took my
less
shirt
about
off.
doing
I was
that.
wearing like a Georgia Tech shirt, and after the Northern Illinois game, I was like, it's coming off. I'm done. I'm becoming an Alabama fan. Roll Tide. That's what I said after the
Hey,
Northern Illinois. game.
for this weekend, I am an Alabama
Oh hell
fan.
yeah!
Roll
dude.
Tide.
Oh, Roll Tide all the way, dude. Roll Tide all the freaking way.
I'd say the worst experience I ever had was again that Ole Miss game. Also the worst fans. Worse than
Really?
Georgia. I think it was only because they blew us out so bad.
Yeah.
They kept heckling us. Some of them went to our meeting area to heckle us when we got back.
God dang.
What team was
That
this?
was the worst. That was Ole Miss last year.
That's surprising.
That
I
was
was
bad.
treated well down
Generally,
there.
they're okay. Yeah, generally they're okay. It was a couple people who wanted to get us. In general, I'd say Georgia's probably worse, but it was that one game where
Well,
they're
yeah.
like, "Oh, we just
Because
wrecked
down in the
you," and
south
I'm
end
like,
zone, you're near like the visitors section, so you probably get
Yep.
more. You see more of the other team's fans.
Yeah, they're to their right.
Yeah.
Well, and when you want to heckle the opposing fans, and you see me, I'm one of the best people to pick to heckle because I'm the one all dressed up.
Well, so you told us your worst game. What about your best? I'm assuming North Carolina this year.
Got to go North Carolina. So Duke was great. Duke was fantastic.
Duke was awesome this year, but we didn't rush
Yes,
the field.
but- No, we didn't. And again, I would have, but we're not allowed to initiate
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
one of our guys did,
I was
which
ready.
was funny, but we couldn't follow him.
Yeah.
He got pretty destroyed.
Yeah.
But no, we couldn't do that. But it has to be UNC. Jumping over, dodging my defender, because again, each of us had the same defender. I used the fact the guy to my left had been tackled really hard, so I went around him, which kept my defender from actually getting me.
You
which
split,
got me on the
you
field.
split the defense.
Yes, I split,
You-
and I got a picture with Haynes King. Was like, I can probably find it. It's one of my best, one of my favorite.
I'd probably try to go through him. I'd be ready to run through a freaking brick wall. Any security man stopping
Hit the truck stick.
Yeah. Any
Yeah,
security man trying to stop me from rushing the
There you
field.
go.
Oh,
Let's
that's
do a
awesome.
handshake.
Nice.
Man, all these people around us get cool pictures with players, meet players, and we never do, man. Congratulations
Now,
on that. But
I do have a picture with Jameer Gibbs, and
Yeah.
Andy messaged me, so that's my claim to fame with
Oh, that's pretty cool.
yeah, he said he saw my video. Which is honestly a little embarrassing because it was me, like, I was really upset that he was transferred. I was like, no! It was that video.
Yeah,
he saw it.
That was rough. That was a rough transfer. I've only ever gotten a message from Charlie Thomas. That's when I showed him I got his jersey. I tried to get
That's
the
awesome.
jersey of my. I've started a tradition last year. My goal is to get a jersey of my favorite player each year,
Oh,
and so
okay.
Charlie Thomas was the one I got last year.
I don't blame you. I think last year, Charlie Thomas was definitely up there. I really liked LaMiles Brooks last year, too.
Yes.
It would probably be one of those two. What about this year? Is it King?
It's Haynes King. Yeah, it's got to be Haynes King this
Haynes
year.
King.
There are other great players. Dante Smith was definitely up there because it was his last year.
Yeah.
But I was like, Haynes King is the best. He's the best quarterback I've ever seen live. myself.
He's
And-
he's awesome.
For Georgia Tech.
It feels
I've
good to
seen
have a
NFL
real.
quarterbacks play
So yeah, let's talk about that. So before we move on, do you have any? We could. I figured next we could talk about kind of what's the football team and stuff. But before we move on, do you have any more stories or Rec Talk? You got any more Goldfella related questions?
no, I don't.
I think we've hit all. The bases for sure. So
The main stories I've told for sure.
So what did you think about the season? I know Rec Talk. I didn't get a chance to see your video today, but he just came out with a video of the roller coaster it's been
Oh, I saw that one.
to be a Tech fan, and I haven't seen it, but I have a feeling I know what. I have a feeling that I know a lot of what it entails because I've been on the front row of this freaking roller coaster too. So
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the year and how everything's gone and where we're at now and everything?
Well, I'd say a kind of upside downside to being Goldfella is the highs feel higher and the lows feel lower.
Oh yeah.
So if we definitely talk about some of the worst games I've been at, right? The Ole Miss game, the Virginia game last year was pretty bad.
Oh my God, I was there too, dude. Oh my God.
So
dude.
so some of those games, it just sucks. And
I
some of the
was-
ones I wasn't even there
At
as
the
a Goldfella,
Virginia
right? Like
game?
the Louisville. Yeah,
I
that
was
was
gonna
bad.
say I was there and I was on the other opposite side of the field from you in the north end zone.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Zach Gibson right in front of me go into the fetal position without being touched. He just went.
He pulled a TVD.
I was like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So-
brutal.
Yes, talking about those ones, those suck. And even the ones I'm not painted up for, like the Louisville game hurt uniquely. So those are really, really bad. And that, just drops my heart. I feel bad probably until like Monday or Tuesday. And then I'm like, okay, I got to move on with my life. But that means the highs feel so much higher.
Oh yeah.
And actually, I have a friend who's recently started watching Georgia Tech. He's like, what is this? I'm disappointed and happy like every other week. And that's the thing. Like, sure, we lose to a Bowling Green, which is awful. Or, Virginia last year. Stuff like that. That sucks. But then we have that win against Duke last year. Or Pittsburgh. Both of those were big wins. And probably my two favorite last year.
Oh, for
Or
sure.
the UNC win this year, which is probably my favorite win I've ever seen live.
Yeah.
It really makes the highs that much higher, and it makes people very happy, which is good.
I didn't think about that. How bad it has to feel to like lose to Bowling Green and then walk out painted up goals. Like that has to be rough.
So the worst one I've heard, I was not at it, was the Citadel game.
Oh,
And that one was even worse because I think Georgia Tech News, like someone was filming them getting like what life as a Goldfellow was for the Citadel game.
oh God.
And so it was them panning up, them getting ready, them talking about what they're going to do. And then that happened. Again, I was not there for that one, but I was not in college at that point.
That's brutal.
But that one was probably the worst one. I heard it's the longest shower any Goldfellas had to experience. So No, that's bad. And losing bad games and then walking out painted sucks. But again, winning games, walking out painted, and everyone wants to cheer with you.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone goes up for a high five. It's great. Again, highest highs, lowest lows, which makes it, in my opinion, that makes it more entertaining than just winning against a bunch of bad teams.
Yeah.
Which isn't related to any team in our state.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine going into every week and not experiencing an exciting game.
Yes.
I wouldn't know anything about it.
But I didn't think about that either. How long does it take you to get all of that off?
It depends on the paint we use, because we will sometimes run out of one paint and use the other. Usually it's going to be about 45 minutes to an hour scrubbing everything off. And even then, like, you got to make sure you get behind your ears. My fingernails, they're still a little yellow from
Dang.
from the Georgia game. Yeah. So that takes a long time. And we always give recommendations for the best way to take a shower. We always say wear underwear or a swimsuit while you're showering, stuff like that.
Real quick, I missed a super chat earlier from BuzzTalk. Thank you for the 5. He says, it's okay. I have a UGA fan at work that doesn't know Dominic Lovett. It was when we were talking about Georgia fans that actually don't.
Oh, yeah.
That, the bandwagon fans that don't actually pay attention to the team. Yeah, there's plenty of those. And there's a lot of casual fans, especially if you like at your work. I've ran into a ton of those.
Yeah.
I'll tell you fair, there's one guy at my work who is actually realistic. Like, when I talked to him, he was like, no, I was telling other people that that's how the game was going to go. And they said I wasn't a real Georgia fan. But I knew that's what we were going to do. I'm like, okay, well, at least you're realistic.
Well, they pulled a Miami, which you never want to do that. But that happened with our buddy Coach Coop. He's a Miami fan.
Yeah.
And they got on him.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
They got on his ass at the Georgia Tech game for only predicting them to win by like 2 scores or something.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, there's an epidemic of fan bases getting mad for you predicting them to beat your team by multiple scores.
like how full of yourself or delusional do you have to be to get mad at somebody who's not predicting you to win by 1,100? You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
And you never know how the game could go. And that's the thing. Why, and again, are any Georgia fans paying attention to what Georgia Tech's doing? No. So the majority of them don't know that we're better than we were the last few years. The one guy who's more realistic, he talks to me every day.
Yeah.
He had a better idea. So he was like, no, we're winning. I don't doubt that. But by like a score, maybe 2. And people were real mad at him for that. It's like, no, that's realistic.
yeah.
Yeah. They want you to put their win margin in scientific notation, or you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Georgia fans will fight other Georgia fans for not being as high on Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him getting a fight behind me at the stadium. They weren't fighting no Tech fans or nothing. They were fighting each other. Worst bunch of people ever.
They were fighting over who was dumber. Like, no, I'm dumber. No, I'm dumb.
I'm Dirty Dan.
Well, I swear, it's more people who never even went to Georgia than people who did. I know plenty of people who went to Georgia. They're better than the fans I see. So I'm like, these people are literally better than the majority of fans because the majority of fans didn't even go to Georgia.
Right. It's because
Not that I'm saying all the
Georgia
people who went to
football
Georgia.
Georgia football is the best thing in their life. That's why.
Yeah, that's right. To be fair,
Enough
I
about
would be
those
very
sons of
happy.
bitches. Enough about them. I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Okay.
I want to talk about our daggone bowl game, baby.
Very excited about
How
that.
good does it feel, after you had to, you're forced to watch just this awful performance. I know it feels good for me, and we finally get to have a bowl game at the end of the year.
It is fantastic. My plan is, depending on the location, to travel there. Likely not paint it up unless Georgia Tech's willing to fund us, which is probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
I will still go, ideally. There are some places I'm not willing to travel that far, so I'm not going to New York. I'm definitely not going all the way to California. I will go to like Tampa Bay or Charlotte, like those nearer places. That would be great. But going a super, super long distance or something that's super expensive is not realistic. But it's great. You better believe I'm going to watch it. I'm sorry.
yeah.
For sure.
I never as a student saw Georgia Tech go to a bowl game.
Yeah. I'll go to Florida, the Carolinas, or or Alabama. That's it. I'm not going to Texas or anything like that. Or the Bronx. Are you kidding me? No.
Yeah. No. Well, and that, my thought on like matchups, I don't think Rutgers is an interesting matchup, or Northwestern. Those were the two I saw for that bowl. Those aren't as interesting. I think Auburn's a lot more interesting. UCF I saw in Tampa Bay, which I think would be great because it was Jeff Collins' last loss.
I would love
It's
to
a
get.
very poetic matchup.
I would love to get UCF back because I'm tired of losing to them. Jeff Collins lost to them twice, right? And I don't like them. I'm ready to beat them.
No, I think he was 1-1.
And we should have beat them last year. They were horrible last year.
Yeah, our team was the better team, and that was a better UCF than it is this year.
Yep.
We're a better team than we were last year. I think we would absolutely get a win there, which would be fantastic. And it's a poetic win for Brent Key. I think it all lines up very, very well.
Buzztalk again with the 5. He says, I've been arguing with a UGA fan on Instagram. His argument is that UGA will blow out Bama because of stats. Stats also supported them blowing Tech out. Yeah. The game's not played on paper, is it?
If Haynes King can run against them the way he did, Jalen Miller is going to do
that. You want to talk about stats? Alabama coming into this year had on their roster has 3 of the top ranked recruiting classes of all time in all of college football. Has players from those 3 classes on their roster. So they are one of the most talented teams ever. And it's funny to me that Georgia fans got such a big head and think that they think they've overcome some kind of magical, they got over the hump with Bama once because they beat them without their 2 best players. That Alabama team was not as good as this one. And
their hump is really beating them in the SEC championship, which I don't believe they've ever done.
Yeah,
that's their hump, and I don't really think that's a good point.
It is, and they dodged them last year. Only team in the playoff era to not have to play Alabama or beat Alabama. Beat Alabama in the playoff.
For that season.
Ever since they went to the 14 playoff.
Dang.
So they were the only team to not have to play them. So.
Well, and they've learned how to use Jalen Milroe now. Yeah. They're rolling. They're not. Yeah. They're a much better team than lost to Texas.
Yeah, they act like
it's
the Bama from the beginning of the year. It's not.
Yeah. I do feel like it's the best year to show that an expanded playoff matters because we see so many teams that I would love to see. Like we were saying, undefeated Florida State shouldn't make it. Which, you could argue, no, they're not a top 4 team, but they should still make it for going undefeated. But we have 4 undefeated teams, where if Georgia lost, they could be out. I'm biased. I want them to be out. Realistically, that shouldn't eliminate you.
Well, I don't like the expanded playoff, and of course,
me and C-Dog don't agree on this.
Once they expand it, Georgia won't miss any more playoffs.
I don't know. We'll see. It feels that way right now, but no team is always the top team.
Well, you know what I'm saying. The SEC could possibly miss the playoffs this year, which would be amazing. And it's not that far-fetched. All that has to happen is, Michigan wins out, probably Washington, but I would imagine they put them in either way. And then if Alabama wins, and FSU, then it's like you have 3 undefeated conference champions plus Texas and Bama, and Texas has a head-to-head. Leave out the SEC, it'd be incredible.
That would be really cool to see for the last 4-team playoff.
I would love that. See that?
Now Texas does have to win their game.
I think they can win it. I think they can win it. They're rolling, but I feel like that they would. I feel like that they would still put in Bama somehow.
Me too. I think that they would put in Alabama over Texas regardless. The one point I've seen opposite that is the fact that Texas is going to the SEC, which means that they could justify putting Texas in because they're a future SEC team. So you could argue the SEC still makes it.
That's funny. I like that. I like that logic. Buzztalk again with the 5. Thank you. He says, just like Tech versus FSU in Ireland next year, I was looking at packages, and for a round trip 3-day hotel game ticket, $1,500 to $5,000 per person is ridiculous. Yeah, I took one look at those packages that the school was offering. I was like, nope.
No way.
Now,
Well, my thing with that, let's say you're probably going to spend $2,500, reasonably. And I don't want to do that. And then let's say FSU beats our asses. Like, that's not.
Now, you never know. They could come down to earth, and we could kind of take a step forward, and that game could be kind of closer than you expect. It depends on how we look, obviously, how both teams, what they bring back and stuff. Well,
I'm 0 for in road games.
Season.
Which, speaking of which, transfer portal today, we had some transfers out.
Yep.
Kyle Kennard and Kenan Johnson announced
3.
there, and Jamie Felix, right?
Yep.
So
person
Jamie Felix, I'm not as worried about.
I saw his announcement.
Who?
Who? Let me check. He announced it not long before the stream started. So.
Oh no!
Geez.
Was it another one?
It was I forget who.
Oh no!
If someone in the chat can see it faster than me.
I hope that's not anybody. Oh god.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't someone I've seen much of.
Oh really?
No.
Okay.
I just forget. I'm sorry, I can't find it.
That's all good.
Oh well. Yeah, but someone did. It wasn't as big a transfer as the last one.
Yeah. Okay.
Not even close. But
well, yeah, Jamie Felix is 4 string, so I'm not that worried about that. But
Julian Juju Lewis.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Wide receiver would be the 4th. I honestly haven't heard his name though all year, and we're pretty deep at wide receiver.
Yeah. Kyle Kennard definitely hurts.
that's the worst one so far.
He led the team in sacks. Kenan Johnson hurts too, I think. But I mean, I was telling Reg Talk earlier, at least it's at least he's a grad transfer, so it's he kind of fulfilled his obligation to the school, graduated, and he's gonna do something else with his last year of eligibility. So I mean, I'm not as hurt. Obviously, I'd like to keep him, but
of course,
I wonder if we were saying earlier, it would be really upsetting if frickin' they went to Ole Miss or one of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's my prediction for every single person who enters the transfer portal. Ole Miss or UNC.
That would piss me off so bad. Now, I was saying earlier, too, it didn't hurt my feelings that Nate McCollum kind of sucked this year at UNC.
Yeah. I remember when he got his one reception. I believe he only got one. And, that was announced 2-yard pass to Nate McCollum, and everyone booed. And, yeah, that was a really frustrating, especially because I feel like he could have been good for us this year.
Oh, dude.
And,
if we had Nate, man, we would have been way better.
Imagine how stacked a wide receiver room we'd have with him here as well.
The grass isn't always greener.
Right.
No. Now, Julian Lewis, he's a 2022 recruit. He was an 85 3-star. So, not crapping on the kid, but it's not some big loss. Yeah. Right. But, look, next year we are going to have a nasty wide receiver room, assuming we don't have any people hit the portal that contribute, because we're going to have Leo Blackburn back.
Oh, yeah.
Leo Blackburn, Eric Singleton.
On the outside.
Abdul Janae, Chase Lane.
Rutherford.
Are we losing Rutherford?
Rutherford? We should have
they're all coming back.
Okay. I wasn't sure if he was a senior.
I don't think we have any senior wide receivers that played.
Okay.
Not that I remember at senior day.
Cool. Well, cool. Yeah, I mean, hopefully the offense takes another step forward, and the defense. I would be even happy next year with the defense. Looked like the offense this year is just kind of inconsistent,
I believe we only had 3 seniors on offense, being Dante Smith, Dylan Leonard, and Luke Benson. So imagine all those people coming back. As if we have an average defense, and then everyone in offense has a full off season, that would be crazy.
Dylan Leonard hurts as far as blocking. Yeah. I could see the offensive line not being as effective, but pass catching, he wasn't as much of a threat. And then Luke Benson, I'm not worried about, to be honest. And then Dante Smith, that does hurt. And a lot of people have been saying we need to get a back out of the portal that's kind of bigger, because we have two we have two weapons on the, they're smaller and faster. and Haynes and Cooley. But, well, assuming Cooley doesn't leave now, he posted something like hinting that he might. So
Now
these
Chase
players-
Lane responded saying, "Don't
He
you
said,
dare."
"Don't." Yeah,
It's kinda
he said,
funny.
"Don't." He said, "Don't get any ideas." I love Chase.
Yeah.
Lane. Chase Lane
He's
is
great.
like Chase Lane is a rare type of player where he's like involved in the social media and stuff, and he's like he's very involved in that stuff. I love Chase Lane.
He has his own YouTube channel.
Yeah. So he
I
gets
hope
it.
to see more of him.
He gets
next
it. I do
year.
too. I was excited for what he could do when I saw him in the Louisville game, but then he got hurt and. I don't know. So hopefully, he can get better. But I really do like Chase Lane. He's awesome.
He's great. Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah, what about that freshman? He was on the depth chart every time, but didn't really see him play. Is he a bigger guy or is he small? He, recruited last year.
Evan Dickinson.
Evan Dickens.
Yeah, he probably got 15 carries this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they worked him in a little bit.
I think he's good. Now I know we talked about this Sea-Dog, but I want to address this too. These people that do the stuff that people do on Facebook that's like, just having a rough time, pray for me. Like these players do this where they're like, don't know what the future holds or something. It's like, just say you're leaving or don't. Like this stuff that
it'll all make sense soon.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Tatum put that out.
Yeah. That's like, go then. Honestly, Tatum wasn't that good this year. Look, okay. I don't like crapping on anybody. But, some of the defense, the defense needs a lot of work.
Well, our whole linebacking core struggled minus like effort.
Effort, yeah. So I'm looking forward to effort, and I heard from I heard people saying that he was their family or something was saying that he likes it here and wants to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah, the only connection I have from a player is I know someone who's really good friends with Clayton Powell-Lee's mom.
Oh.
And so I was like, well, is there a chance he transfers? And she was like, no. I believe he's like getting a mechanical engineering degree from here.
Oh.
And that's kind of like a big one.
Yeah.
It's important for him to get that degree.
Oh, good.
Which no joke. He's a great player and he's getting a hard degree.
That makes me really happy because he's one of our best players for sure on defense.
Plus his dad played here. So before the game start, when they play like the hype thing before the game, his dad is the one they show a clip returning a kick against Georgia. Then they cut to Clayton Powell-Lee making a play.
That's
cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's awesome. So I mean the safeties this year, I think him and LaMiles Brooks are a nasty combo. If they can get some more help up front.
Yes.
Well, we saw what could happen. We saw it last year. We had a great defense last year.
Well, when you have a Keon White that can be as disruptive up front,
we gotta find some help up in the D line and linebacker. And from what I've heard, all of our offers in the portal have been that. So the staff's hitting
defensive
it hard.
line and linebacker.
Yeah, the staff's hitting it hard, trying to get that fixed, which is good. I think they'll get it turned around.
Jace, do you know Ryder the Proto? One of your brothers is.
Oh, yes, I do. He's here.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
nice.
said to your
Yeah, he's one of
brothers
my
here.
younger brothers.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, yep.
Well, shout
Yep.
out to you, Ryder.
Yeah.
Good to have you in here.
I have 5 brothers, so
Oh, I have 4.
that's one of them. 4, nice.
Yeah, I got 4 of them, so I know what it's like.
Only child, baby.
Only
All the
child.
presents for me.
One of them is my twin, identical twin,
Oh, wow.
and he started dating a Georgia fan, so he's flipped to them.
No.
Yes.
Sounds like you don't have a twin brother anymore.
That's grounds for
That's a joke we've made, which is the "I had a twin" statement.
I had a twin.
He has a quarter zip,
Oh
Georgia
my
quarter zip. So I'm
God,
like, dang
dude.
it, dang
That is
it.
brutal. My
Unbelievable.
uncle did that, and it makes me sick. And he texts me like pictures of their ugly freaking hairy dog mascot, and he sends me that stuff and tries to gloat. I'm like, you're not a Georgia fan. You're not. Leave me alone.
Well, and to both of their credit, they only talk trash because they know I'm a big Georgia Tech fan. But I'm like, okay. Well, because I even asked, I was like, do you know any Georgia players? It's like, no, they only do it to make fun of me, which, I mean, I can understand. It is fun.
I see.
but-
Yeah.
whatever.
If you're not that big of a football fan, then whatever. But
Yeah, exactly.
this stuff's serious.
That's
It
right.
means something, okay? Can't just be going around wearing freaking all these teams willy nilly.
Nah. It ain't like one of those hermit crabs. You can't just switch shells anytime you want.
Yeah, that's right.
Tech for life.
Except when
I
there's
make the joke of the person wearing the jersey and then ripping it off to reveal the other jersey at the end of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, you've seen that meme, haven't you?
I don't think so. No.
The bandwagon fan.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't. That's
No,
funny,
but
though.
this is another gripe that Rec Talk has. When people announce from like being recruited what team they're going to choose, and they do this musical chairs with hats, that annoys me as well. Oh, nah, gotta be quicker than that. That one up.
If I was a recruit, I would do that to Georgia and then flip to Tech.
I would take a dump in the hat after I committed.
Yeah. I would be like, I would throw it. Isn't that what?
I would say mute your Twitter comments after doing that to Georgia because they'd probably flame you pretty hard.
Yeah,
That's fine.
That's true. It's fine. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know.
Bunch of flamers
I'm
anyway.
saying.
I think that's what Travis Hunter did. He had Georgia, and then like Florida State, and then he threw them both away, and then he pulled the Jackson State out from under the table.
Now that's the biggest swerve of all time. Though.
That was.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
I don't think anyone really thought that was going to happen.
That was historical.
That's the first time an HBCU's ever signed a 5-star. Yeah.
And he's good, but they're really mishandling him, I think.
You can call
He's
it
a
what it
great
is. It's
player.
a dumpster fire over there in Colorado.
I mean, you can't play both sides of the ball, you know.
No, and stay healthy.
You can against
no.
bad teams, but not against good teams
Yeah.
or even mediocre
Well,
teams.
no, because like when he was switching to corner, he was getting burned by that whatever it was the next week. It was some crappy
Oh,
team.
yeah, you're right.
Stanford. Yeah, they had like some tight end or some receiver you've never heard of from Stanford was torching Travis Hunter all night because he was tired. Like they kept throwing it to him, and he kept just bullying Travis Hunter all night. You have to pick a side. You know. You
Yeah.
can't play
What
both
are they
you
in
just get
recruiting
exhausted.
right now? Colorado.
They're like, I don't know.
70th.
Did you
No,
want
they're
us?
like 70.
You be honest.
that's
Did
worse.
you? Because I can admit, I wanted us to hire Dion. Did you want us to hire Dion? It's
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I was like, Dion would be really, really
I was
cool.
like, let's
Why
do
not?
it. I was like, no. At the time, I was like, we would kind of be going from one Jeff Collins to another, but this one's more exciting, so let's do it.
Well, and the thing with Dion, I think he would have struggled a lot with our academic restrictions. Like a lot of the people he had transfer would have had a harder time.
we talked to
transferring to us.
We talked to him.
You talked,
Yeah,
Dion?
we did. Yeah, Georgia Tech did, and he said.
Oh, I thought you said you talked to him.
No.
No, I know we as Georgia Tech did, but I was like, wait, what?
Georgia Tech did talk to him, and that's why he didn't wind up coming here, is because he was worried about the recruiting. So
Which I can understand. Yeah, I can understand.
yeah,
Who saw that coming on the panel?
what?
This guy. I said the heck with that guy from day one.
Yeah, I guess so. I had Dion like.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, he wasn't my number one. I had Dave.
Jamie Chadwell?
I had Dave Clawson actually. As my
Oh,
number
okay.
one. I would have loved Dave
I
Clawson.
think that would have been a good hire.
It would have been a freaking
Dave Clawson would have been great.
slam dunk. Whoever gets Dave Clawson, they're getting an amazing coach. Like, I don't know why he's still at Wake Forest. He has done the
Wake Forest-
absolute most you can do there.
I think Wake Forest is benefited by this one bad season because people are going to be lower on Dave Clawson,
Yeah.
which means they get him for longer.
Exactly. I mean, if I'm anywhere, I'm looking at Dave Clawson. He's awesome. He's just an awesome coach.
He called out the portal stuff too, because he was like, they have Sam Hartwell. Is that his name? Hartman.
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 Yeah, Hartman.
They have him at Notre Dame Senior Day acting like he's a Notre Dame guy. He's like, y'all rented him for a year. All right, we developed.
They had like a whole appreciation thing for him.
Just like
It's like-
Alabama did for Gibbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Alabama claims Gibbs. They're like, he's our running back we put in the NFL.
No, I tell them you can have Jalen Hurts or you can have Gibbs. You cannot have both.
Right.
You cannot have both.
Well, to be fair to them, he would not have gone that high in the draft had he not gone to Alabama.
But we got Keon White drafted in the
true.
second round, so he would have at least been second round.
Yeah.
He was incredible.
He would have been a diamond in the rough for somebody.
He led the team in the country in all-purpose yards.
He was a great player. I pay attention to him. I have him on one of my fantasy teams.
Yeah.
I always get mad when they don't use him.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Yeah.
He's such a good player.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, that's what I've heard is they're not.
He's phenomenal. And that also pisses me off at Collins. Like, I'm glad he recruited him, but absolutely wasted him at Tech. Like,
you had Jeff Sims and Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield and Dave Patnode at OC.
Yeah.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Is there a bigger fumble?
Where's Dave Patnode now? Right, like
he
selling
went to
insurance.
ODU and then he retired right before the season, 2 weeks before the season started.
Yeah, and I've never heard another word about the guy. And they got rid of him, or he resigned. Then they upset Virginia Tech, which probably wouldn't have happened had he not got out of town.
Oh God. Oh,
I don't see anything on him right now. I don't see anything.
I'm just so glad we're just past that now. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
That was rough. That was so rough.
God dang. Mike Jones says, I think Leo Blackburn can be a Calvin Johnson type player when healthy next year. Hey.
I agree.
Easy.
I agree with him.
Yeah, sure.
Easy there.
Now, I'm telling you, dude, that guy is a stud.
Let's have him be Calvin Johnson and Eric Singleton. That would be great. Totally down for that.
We have two Calvin Johnsons?
Yeah, that would be great. Do I actually think that's going to happen? No, but that would be great.
Eric Singleton's too small to be considered like that, right? He's kind of skinny. But easy there. That's the GOAT. That's the greatest wide receiver of all time you're talking about.
Oh yeah. No, that's mostly me wishful.
But hey,
not
he
actually
does.
saying
He
that's
wears
gonna happen.
21, right?
He has the potential to be that, though. I'm telling you right now.
I hope you're right.
He's that good.
He's been hurt 2 years in a row, though. It's like
I know.
Sometimes you see guys like that, they can't stay healthy for whatever reason, and it derails.
Well, I think with him, his knees, he's really lanky. Like he's 6'6" or so.
That's rough.
And like 240.
I wish he could stay healthy. I really do.
Yeah.
But
I'm getting a full season of him, especially with Haynes King throwing to him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's going to be nasty.
Yeah,
so that's something else we haven't talked about is the absolute turnaround of our offense. We've talked about the defense some. Buster Faulkner, I'm sure Middle Tennessee State would like to hire him as their head coach. I don't think it'll happen. I think if he stays at Tech and keeps doing what he's doing, he'll get a Power 5 job if he wants it. We go from 126 in total offense to 34th?
Something around there, yes.
Like, Buster's done a phenomenal job.
And Winky, too, for that matter.
Well, it's a lot easier to cheer for a team and stay loud when you're scoring touchdowns, which we do a lot more.
Winky has taken two bad quarterbacks and made them play a lot better. I really wish we could cut down. If Haynes King cuts the turnovers in half, they got to be cut in half next year.
Yeah.
That's the only thing holding him back from being elite.
Yeah.
So.
I think he's a great quarterback. I've been very excited to see him play. Mm-hmm. Again, probably the best I've seen.
Yeah, me too.
Live ever.
It's
so
especially towards
having him grow 2 more years. Oh my gosh, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
Well, talking of Winky, think of all the quarterbacks he's gotten ready to play and play well.
Oh yeah.
Gibson looked like crap. We put Pyron in, so he gets a true freshman ready off scout team that plays really well. Then he reforms Gibson in conjunction with Pumachan, who lost his job at UMass later. Also, Jeff Sims, the best he played in his entire career was when Winky got him ready. And then Haynes King, who everyone told us preseason was hot garbage and would never do anything. So what is that, 4 or 5 quarterbacks that he's developed into being decent?
I really want us to keep him. He's the one I'm most afraid on offense that we're
Me
going to
too.
lose because he's so good.
Me too.
He could get an OC job
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
At a big play. Like, I mean, if somebody was having quarterback issues at some kind of big school, I don't know, Michigan,
He's one of the best quarterback developers in the country.
He
I don't even
is.
feel like that's a controversial take.
I cannot believe that we have him. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but it's gonna hurt. Losing a guy like that will hurt us more than it would hurt the big programs.
Yeah. My hope is that we keep him for at least one more year so he can start developing our 2 true freshmen.
Right.
So they get at least a year of him.
Yeah.
And then we get either Aaron Philo or Graham Knowles after. Or Pyron if he stays the whole time. I don't know if that's going to happen. That'd be great.
From everything I've heard, like as of this moment, like he's all tech, and Mike Doug's right too. Buster is a nominee for the Broyles Award, which is the top assistant in the country, and I think it's well deserved.
Signs point to them staying. I would be probably most worried about of those 3. I'd be probably most worried about Winky. But yeah, Pyron, apparently Kelly Columbin was saying that he wants to graduate from Tech. So that makes sense to me. And besides, like, this was the first season in I don't know how long where we've had the same quarterback all year. It's always been like this is the first year also. I feel like we're not like limping to the finish line, It's like
I agree.
It's like no, we're still at full strength, and maybe even improving too towards the end of the year here, and so that'll be handy when it comes to.
I loved that Syracuse video. It was so good. Oh
it's
my
one of the
gosh,
best videos I've ever watched. Yeah.
Yeah, that's our ball right there. It's a shitty freaking ball, but hey, that's Georgia Tech.
Sea-Dog wants it. Well, think about how nasty that could be, too. Let's say Haynes King balls out next year, gets the interceptions under control, gets drafted. Then you've got a guy that's been in the system 3 years in Zach Pyron. He balls out. Then you've got Aaron Philo and Knowles in waiting. Aaron Philo, I think, he is on pace, or I don't know if he did. He thrown for about as many yards as Trevor Lawrence did. Like
he probably would have broken it, but a team forfeited.
What?
Before they played.
Man.
That's what
we got
I
a
saw.
quarterback so good that they're forfeiting to not.
Ain't no point in it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I
believe that's what happened.
Wow.
Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But
I hope we
that's what
continue to recruit quarterbacks like that and keep the room full, because having depth, and that might be what they're doing too, because last year the quarterback situation going into the season, it was like it was Jeff Sims or no one, and once he got hurt, we were caught with our pants down. And I think that they probably want to avoid that in the future. So it looks like they're stacking up the quarterback room, which I love. Now, we need to do that.
Yes.
They also did that for the wide receiver room. For whatever reason, they honed in on the freaking receivers. I need us to do that with linebackers and D-linemen this year, which appears to be the case. So,
I'm just seeing this, too. Haynes King, #1 passing touchdowns in the ACC.
Ooh.
#1 in points responsible for, which includes his rushing touchdowns, and #2 in total offense.
Nice.
Yeah, that seems about good for an ACC honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it should be better than that. I mean, he can't. He's not at least third team all ACC.
He should have at least been third team.
It's the interceptions,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's true.
So
I mean, take away the interceptions. He's one of the best in the country.
Right. No, for sure. If he can cut those in half next year, like I said, then we'll be looking way better. That's the difference between a few wins. So we'll see. But guys, the Pac-12 championship's about to come on. And
oh crap.
Yeah. So we got to
be a good game.
in the stream and go watch that immediately.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate
Yeah,
it.
dude. Thanks for
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, it was a great,
yeah.
it was a great opportunity to talk to you. The Goldfellas are an awesome tradition, even if even if the man wants to put them down.
Yeah, I'll get you in contact with our new
Dude.
guy, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Appreciate
for
it,
sure.
man.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. Rec Talk, I know you're doing a stream here in like 30 minutes, right? So
8:30. Yep.
yeah, we'll watch the Pac-12 game for about 30 minutes, and then we'll jump on over there.
Who you got for the game?
I've actually got.
Oregon.
I've got Oregon just because I think it's tough to beat the same team twice.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't like rematches. I don't like seeing them, to be honest.
We got 2, right? It'll be, or is it Oklahoma, Texas again?
No,
Who is
no.
Texas?
Oklahoma State.
They actually hadn't played this year.
Oklahoma State and
Oak State and
I
Texas.
also think Oregon
they
wins.
hadn't-
I'm rooting for Washington though, because Washington wins, better shot Georgia doesn't get it. So.
You're right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. I agree with that. We were talking about that earlier, like who we want in the playoffs, and for me, it comes down to whatever keeps Georgia out. So.
Yep, absolutely, every time.
But all right, guys, that was an awesome stream. Rec Talk, I'll see you in about 30 minutes, and
sounds
I'm
good.
just gonna go ahead and end it here. I won't kick y'all out. And everybody, thank you for watching. Go Jackets, and
Absolutely.